Hello, Wankers.
What's up, Vankah?
Hello, Vankas. Guenther. Another race, another papaya masterclass, huh?
Yeah, master what? Master, yeah, all right, yeah, master something, yeah. So, yeah.
It was a master of disaster is maybe
exactly.
what it is.
Or called those a fuck up, huh? So,
yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's so much to discuss from this race. I mean, there's rumors flying abound. Apparently, Christian Horner is taking your old job. George Russell still doesn't have a contract. Fernando Alonso is swearing on the radio, and if you give him a fine, I swear to God, epic developments in the Formula One world. Before we get to any of that, Guenther, what do the people who are watching this episode need to do?
They need to subscribe, and if you are in Austin, you need to come to our show on Sunday night. As easy as this, nothing difficult, Just subscribe. If you're in Austin Sunday night, the best place in town to be at is at where, Brian?
The Paramount Theater at 9 p.m. You'll have plenty of time. The race will be over. You can go have a little bit of dinner and then come hang out with your favorite wankers and your favorite Vankah and his two wanker friends, Matt
his little
and
wankers,
I.
yeah.
That's right. His little wankers. That's us. That's us. Get your tickets. Link is in the description. They just opened up a few tickets right near the front. There's some primo seats that are available right now that were previously unavailable. So you want to snatch those up right now. It's coming up faster than you think. Get your tickets. But you know what, Guenther, let's get to this. Let's get to the show. Of course, this is Vankah Hours brought to you by BetMGM. Cue the music.
Don't fuck smash my dog. I'm got the fucking Steiner and I'm back for more. Don't fuck smash my dog. I've got the fucking Steiner and it's time for Vankah Hours, baby. Vankah Hours, baby. Vankah Hours, baby.
And we're back. All right, Guenther, we should start with your Rockstar and Wanker for the Singapore GP. Guenther, who is your Rockstar for Singapore?
I would say it needs to be George. I mean, he did everything right. I mean, he didn't put nothing wrong. I mean, it's just like how better can you do it? So.
But
George.
But Toto, he still doesn't have a contract.
Yeah, but
I just called you Toto. I just called you Toto because I'm so upset with him. Guenther,
I didn't even hear that.
Guenther, George still doesn't have a contract.
He will get one. I mean, if he doesn't get it on Mercedes, he gets it somewhere else. But obviously, George knows what he's worth, and obviously, he wants. I would say. He doesn't want his terms. He wants to do the best for him. He has got an opportunity. He's speaking in the moment, and what he did for Mercedes. Everybody was scared last year. Oh, Lewis is leaving. Who do you think George can take the lead of the team? No shit, he did. I mean, pretty good. I mean, and now he's waiting for a contract. So I think he just tries to negotiate the best terms for him. And I guess he wants more than a 1 year contract. Obviously, I guess Toto is playing it. Give him 1 year so Max comes free, or Max wants to leave Red Bull. I got a place for Max, and my love child, Kimi Antonelli. So it's like, obviously, George is saying, that doesn't work for me. That's not my ideal situation. And in the moment, who is performing? George. So he's in a pretty good position to negotiate. He has got a lot of, I wouldn't say he has got a lot of leverage, but he has got a lot of good reasons why he should get a contract and why he doesn't bend over, to get a contract. He says, these are my terms. And I guess he wants as well being paid well like all the other top drivers, or even more, So I don't know, but
you understand the market better than I do, Guenther. Even if he wins the next, however many races left we have to go, somehow wins the championship, does he have the leverage? I mean, is the market really like, where would he even go? That's the problem. Like, if Toto gives him a deal that says here's a 1+1, however many million, take it or leave it. If he says I'm leaving it, where's he going? What would actually be available to him? I know he's doing great, and he deserves a driver of his caliber deserves a multi-year deal at a top team like Oscar, like Lando, like Charles, like the guys just below Max. But where is it? Where is the other competing offer that he would actually credibly take for next year?
For next year, but think about it. Mercedes is even in a tougher place. Who would they put in there if he doesn't sign a one-year contract? And that is his leverage, because Mercedes would be, who they put in there. I mean, there is nobody available, because Mercedes needs to fight for world championships. It's not like a midfield team, which, you take whatever, the best you can get for the money you've got. I mean, Mercedes, if they're participating in F1, they want to win the world championship. They're not here to participate, They're here to win. So who else is there than George? So I think that is his leverage, that Mercedes has no other option. That's for next year, and that is he's playing up. I want more than next year, because in 27, if, for example, just hypothetical, Max decides, Red Bull isn't good enough for me, I want to go to Mercedes, obviously then George would have the chance to go to Red Bull. But at that stage, Red Bull has got all the leverage over George, that if you want to our seat, and we don't know how good or how bad the Red Bull will be anyway in 27, but they have got the leverage. Where else would you go? So I think in the moment, the biggest leverage for George is that Mercedes has nobody else to go in the car next year.
How tense do you think things are getting behind the scenes there? Because we're getting late into the year. Toto has said Kimi will definitely be here next year. He's been on the record saying that. Obviously, this contract negotiation's going on. And then George, 2 races in a row, has great performances, including a win in Singapore, where there seemingly should be bad, because it's everything against what their car normally likes. It's hot weather, it's slow turns, it's high deg. It's the opposite of a Mercedes track, and George still finds a way to win the race. What do you think is the tension palpable behind the scenes, in the paddock, in the garage, in the Mercedes camp?
I think Toto and George know each other so long, so well, because we never have to forget to get George into Formula One, it was Toto. We need to respect that one as well, So I think it is just a negotiation. I don't think it is tense. It's between them. Obviously, sometimes their conversations will be pretty tough, but I think George's manager, which I don't know who that is in the moment, will take the lead in it. So you're not confrontational with another team member. That's what driver normally do.
Okay, so we had heard that maybe it's not true anymore, but didn't Toto manage George?
I think in the beginning, but that was before Toto was at Mercedes, because as far as I know, Mercedes, when Toto joined Mercedes, one of the things, conflict of interest, no shit, he had to give all that, let all that go, but I think that is in the past. But in the beginning, sure, he was a big supporter. I don't know who invested what in George, if it was Mercedes or Toto, but I think that is gone.
But didn't Toto manage Valtteri's? Wasn't he part of the But Valtteri's still there. Is that not that's less of a conflict of interest there?
I don't know if he's still actively involved. He was involved in Valtteri, but I wouldn't be surprised if that contract expired, Because, these management contracts, they're over a period of time, and after a while, they expire. The drivers don't have to pay back in the investors anymore. But I don't have that insight. But yes, Toto wasn't, he took Valtteri to Formula One. I think he supported him even in Formula 3.
So when the manager, because this is an interesting thing, I was talking to my parents about this thing, and they said that's insane that your boss, the person you're potentially making a deal with, is your manager, that you're sending a counteroffer to yourself. That this weird incestuous world of Formula One, I think in no other sport, professional sport at such a high level, is this the case, that you're potentially negotiating with yourself. You usually have, that's the whole point of an agent or a manager, is that it's a person who's only looking out for your best interest.
Yeah, and I think your parents are right. It's wrong, I'm not doubting your parents, but
right.
I think that was in the good old days. As I said in the moment, I think it got cleaned up pretty good because with becoming big corporates coming involved, there's conflict of interest. But the master of all that was Flavio. I mean, he was
Right.
he was Alonso's manager, and he was running a team a long time, and
we know how well that went.
Well, they got two championships. They got two championships.
And he got thrown out of Formula One for 5 years.
And a lifetime ban, ban that he said, no, what's in a life? If I'm George Russell, I just had this thought as you were talking about his leverage. Right now, it feels like there's a scene in the Fast and the Furious movies where there's these two, and in other movies too, where two guys are driving right towards each other, like straight on, and it's about who's gonna chicken, who's gonna bail out last. I think George's ultimate leverage is if he says, if I don't have the contract I want, I just won't drive in Formula One next year.
Yeah.
He needs to be if he really wants this, if he really wants that long-term deal, if he really wants that kind of money, then he needs to maybe be able to commit to the idea that he says, if I don't get this, then next year I'll take a year off and I'll see where I can land in 27.
Yeah. And I think that for George is perfectly fine with the form he's in the moment. If he makes that commitment, I think somebody will find a place for him. And we were just talking about Alpine. Maybe Alpine says, hey, if you're on the market, to get a caliber like him in a car, everybody will want him. Right. Who can? I mean, obviously, most of the teams are full, or all of them are full, but somebody will come up with a solution. But as you say, if he's brave enough and wants to, play hardball, I think, there is very little leverage for both of them. But I think George has got more than Mercedes.
Because Toto will just look like an asshole if George walks. He'll look like a schmuck.
Because who are you going to put in there?
Yeah.
Where does George rank for you on the top driver list? Because on our pod on Monday, I said that to me, George is the second best driver in Formula One. We put that clip on the internet. Some people are saying I'm with me. A lot of people are saying, slow down, buddy. He's, Charles Leclerc is still in the sport. Where do you put George in the pantheon?
I put them in the top 5. But it's so close together after Max, the drivers, so I think it's very difficult to define. But I put him in the top 5. I put him from 2 to 5, and as you say, Charles, Lando, Oscar, they are in there as well in the moment.
But they're all below Max.
Max, yeah. Everybody's below Max.
That's right. We'll get to Max soon, but Guenther, this is not Max territory because we need to know who your wanker for the Singapore GP is.
It can only be McLaren. No? I mean, the strange thing is, as much as they won the World Championship and we call them wankers, but it is a little bit, conflicting there. But I would say, first of all, a fantastic job, a fantastic car they did. But what they put on in Singapore, the show, was not a World Championship show. I mean, obviously the car performance was good, the car is good, but with the drivers at some stage, either you have rules or you don't have rules. These papaya rules, which nobody knows who they are, what they are, if they even exist, but you change them around, and one day it's like this. Either you let them race, or if you're getting worried to lose the World Championship, you have to make the call. You have to tell one guy, and obviously that one guy is Oscar in the moment, because he has got more points than Lando. I'm sorry, and there's nothing against Lando. I mean, Oscar put himself in the first, 2/3 of the races in a better position. Now it's, you go and win the World Championship, because if they lose the Drivers' World Championship now, I wouldn't be happy. And then you have got 2 unhappy drivers. At least if you favor one, you got only 1 unhappy driver, So it's like...
And here's the other thing. Is I think at this point there's so much shit surrounding this now, so much politics, so much the whole thing has become so muddled that either one's win is going to be kind of tainted at this point.
Absolutely. I mean, you're right with that one. Now, it's even if any decision now is made, it's then you go back. But why did they? When Lando had the engine failure? Why? Why was that not taken into account? Yeah, but Lando had two pit stop problems, and all that stuff. So it's becoming a calculation. It's not racing anymore, and they took the racing element almost out of it, and therefore I think.
Well, I guess as the lone Lando supporter in this podcast, like what happened in Singapore felt like racing to me. Lando's move felt aggressive and felt like racing, but now because McLaren has kind of had a anti-racing vibe to them, Oscar's on the radio asking, guess what, to give the place back. Did you think that, take McLaren out of this? Do you think that there was ever a world? Do you think that Lando's move was too much, too far? That there was a world where he should have given that place back?
No, I don't think so. It was at the start, it's like, it was hard racing. I mean, but obviously Oscar's question came because of the past decisions which are taken before. That's what I say. I mean, right. To unravel all this, what was said and what was done now, it's a story in itself. And you will never get it right because you can use any argument. So, unfortunately, fortunately for them, I still think they will win the World Championship, also the Drivers' World Championship, because obviously the manufacturers, they won, and congratulations to that one. But, it is like, as you say, it makes, every time you see them, it's a story now about them. Nothing else.
The original sin was Hungary last year, where right. they tried to overmanage everything. Lando was ahead, and then they where he shouldn't have been. They undercut Oscar, was leading the race. Lando was ahead. They did the switch, but it took 20 laps. Oscar wins, and they're both miserable. Yeah. In this attempt to make everybody happy, they actually make everybody miserable. And I think that's the situation we're in, that somehow they're in first class, they're sipping champagne, and everybody's upset.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, they won the Constructors' Championship with 6 races left to go. It's a historic win for the team and the two guys that made that possible on the driver's side, because every other top team only has one driver. This is the issue. It's like, this is the double-edged sword, because all these other top teams, the reason they're so far behind is, one, because the McLaren car has been dominant, but also, two, because the second, obviously Red Bull has had chaos in that second seat. We got a rookie in Mercedes, and Lewis has struggled in the Ferrari. So the other maybe contenders don't have two seemingly number one drivers at the top of their game. But yeah, I call it a dry hump, Guenther. It's a dry hump.
Yeah. And the best would have been if they would have raced from the beginning. And what happens,
But right. What if they keep taking each other out? I
don't think they take each other out. I mean, I think I don't think they would do that. And there could be. I mean, Lando took himself out. Unfortunately, he didn't take the other one out. But I mean, that was a lesson. But for me, it was more like the pit stop incident. We get that. Oh, you need to let him pass because it's about pit stop. I mean, wow.
Toto, I remember I asked you.
Toto, we keep calling him Toto.
Toto.
You call him Toto
Guenther.
too.
Guenther. Well, maybe it's because I want you running Mercedes. Guenther. While carving out time for the podcast, Guenther, I remember many moons ago I asked you, would you do the Max Verstappen way? Would you want a number one and a number two? And you said, give me 2 dogs, give me 2 killers.
Yeah.
And I think when you're Haas, you want the 2 best drivers possible. When you're in the midfield, even 2 or 3, you want the 2 best drivers possible because you're trying to get the best place in the championship possible. But when you have a car like McLaren or Red Bull in 2023, where it doesn't kind of fucking matter, where your car is so good, is having 2 number ones is this worth the headache? Like, would they be so much better off if they had Nico Hülkenberg in the second seat, and then he's good enough, they're fine. Like, one wins the championship.
You just answered your question yourself before.
Why? Why? How did I answer my question?
No, Brian answered the question. Look at Mercedes, Ferrari, and Red Bull. They have only one driver there. If take away, for example, give one of the McLaren drivers only a quarter of the points he made. I mean, it's not as easy as this because the other one would have maybe made more, but we simplify it, Where would they be? The championship would be a lot closer. And they are just winning the championship how they're winning it because they've got 2 A drivers, And therefore, my choice would be to have 2 A drivers. They won the Constructors 6 races before the end of the season. Well done.
But that car is so much better, too.
I mean, was it this much better in Singapore?
Well, obviously they stopped bringing upgrades.
Yeah, but everybody stopped bringing upgrades because, 26 is only 3 months away, that you need to have the car ready. So nobody is, I would still go with my thing. I want 2 dogs, but I would let them race because then at least, you win it anyway.
Yeah. Okay, so here's the question. They've won the Constructors now.
Yeah.
And there's been all this mishigas and bad press and people talking about everything that they're doing wrong. We've got 6 races left. That's still a quarter of the season. Is there an opportunity for if you could call Zach Brown and tell him one thing for these last 6 races, what would you say? What should they do?
What I would do is I would say support Oscar to win the championship.
Oh! That's not what I thought you were going to say. I thought you were going to say, let them fucking race.
No, because they are coming close now. I mean, they had to race up to now. It's like, now you need to support it. We need to win the championship. Last year, they didn't win it, the drivers. But this year, if they continue like this, like Singapore, it's not a done deal. I mean, I still think they will win it because at some stage, they will do what I just said. Because otherwise the drivers will fall out between them. That happens as well.
The whole thing just feels
you think
bad.
You think Lando's gonna tell? Sorry, you think Zach's gonna call Lando and say, "Buddy, I'm putting you on ice. Sorry, better you'll get him. We'll get him next year at some point if Oscar's ahead."
I don't know if Zach is doing it or not, but you asked me what I would be doing. I would sit with them and say, hey guys, I mean, we need to make sure we win this championship. Oscar has advantage. I mean, how much has he got now? 20 points,
Right.
So,
well, as much as Oscar is leading the championship, it certainly doesn't feel like that with regards to the vibes at McLaren. I mean, there have been examples of when Oscar was making aggressive moves on Lando and they came right on the horn and said, that's too close, that's too soon. And then Lando makes this aggressive move on Oscar and it's silence. And Oscar's saying, what's happening? And they say, we'll look at it. We're checking. We are checking.
That is when you don't, I explained that. That is when you don't want to speak what you really want to say. I'm checking.
Right.
I'm checking, yeah. Keep on checking.
There was also a moment, and McLaren's making excuses, but there was a moment when they had the whole team on the podium celebrating the Constructors' Championship, and Lando was on that podium, and Oscar was in the media pen answering questions about papaya rules. What do you think that... And now, what McLaren has said, this is what they've said about it, because they were obviously asked about this. What they have said is that they were, they didn't want to jinx it, so they didn't have like a solid plan about what they were going to do. But then, after they won the Constructors, Formula One said, "Why don't you get on the podium?" And the plan was to just not have either of the drivers up there, just have the mechanics and whoever. But as Lando's leaving the podium and everyone's rushing on, obviously he went on with them. And so that was their excuse. That, Lando just got swept up. He got caught up in the moment, right? Because it's Louis Vuitton's on light.
It's by the regulation when you need to be in the pen. And if you are not on the podium, you need to be there first and then the other ones come. But I think Lando had to go there afterwards. So it could be that I think that was true, but could they have got a dispensation for Oscar to go on it? Yes. Even if you go on there and say, let's go on there, and then they come to you, why I went on the podium, guys. Yeah, maybe you get a fine $5,000, but I mean, they just won the World Championship. Who cares about $5,000? So, but I think it was a miscommunication. I don't think it was, and I don't know if Oscar was pissed and didn't want to go on there. I think he wasn't even aware that they go on there. That's my opinion.
Right, right. So it's interesting that they win the Constructors' Championship, which is what they care about, right? And Zach, Mr. Marketing, all he cares about is marketing. That's why he's in there, right? Sponsorships, publicity. That's his.
He's the best. He's the
best there is, right?
That's what they
say. He when he got into McLaren,
after Brian,
when he got into McLaren, that thing was completely blank. It looked like the car was blanks. It was a blank page.
It was a papaya canvas.
Yeah, exactly.
It was like, as Taylor Swift would say, it's a blank space, baby. Right? And we're going to get your take on the album later in the episode, Guenther.
That's a bonus episode.
That's a bonus episode. So basically, he comes in there. He brings in all these good vibes. Ted Lasso is good American vibes. Everybody's feeling good. And now they win the Constructors' Championship, and the stories are just about this bullshit papaya rules. Why is McLaren not? Why is Oscar not on the podium? Do these guys secretly hate each other? People are going through like Zach's reactions to different podiums, like it's the Zapruder film. I guess my question is, I'm not as aware of any of this. I'm especially not aware about these like marketing meetings and PR meetings that they're definitely having. But like, isn't this kind of a PR nightmare for them that they're winning so much and they're just like they're somehow winners and wankers they're rock stars and wankers at the same time?
You know the saying, the winner is always right, so they can do what they want. They are the winner. They won the Constructors. So, I mean, there is controversy around, but who cares? They won the championship. Their commercial department works well. They get shitloads of money in, so I don't think it disturbs them. I mean, is it nice? Maybe not, but that is what they do, and they can do what they want because they are winning. I mean, they are still winning, and this will go only bad for them if they stop winning. Then all this will be more scrutinized. But in the moment, as I say, the winner is right. It's always right.
The winner takes it all. The loser standing tall. Papaya victory. Yeah. I guess what with the whole what they would call the Lando being on the podium, because there's this argument that they actually secretly prefer Lando, that Oscar, despite leading the championship, is the redheaded stepchild of the McLaren factory, and Oscar being in the media pen and Lando being on there with the team. We did it, guys. Earlier in the race, when Zach Brown's congratulating Oscar on the radio, Oscar takes his wheel off and cuts Zach Brown off on the radio. What the kids would call that, Guenther, is that they are not beating the allegations. These are examples that they are not beating the allegations.
I mean, if you say it, you must be right. Beating the allegations.
Okay.
Oh, enough papaya.
Vankah's this season of F1 is spicy. Now McLaren's maybe not winning every race. Max Verstappen, George Russell, they're throwing their hats into the ring. And guess what? You can bet on that with BetMGM. As you know, we have teamed up with BetMGM this season, and we'll be using BetMGM lines to make all of our picks. And we'll have a special offer for our listeners each week. And if you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, use bonus code Vankah, and you will get up to $1,500 first bet dollar offer on your first wager with BetMGM. Here's how it works. You download the BetMGM app and use the sign up using the bonus code Vankah, VANKAH. Deposit at least $10 and place your first wager on any game, race, whatever it is. You'll receive up to $1,500 in bonus bets if your first bet loses. Just make sure you use the bonus code Vankah when you sign up. We don't know what's going to happen every week now, baby. McLaren dominance is over. There's money to be made. BetMGM, make it legendary.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in the U.S. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369 for New York. Call 1-800-327-5050 for Massachusetts. 21 and over only. Please gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP for Arizona. 1-800-BETS-OFF for Iowa. 1-800-981-0023 for Puerto Rico. First bet offer for new customers only. Subject to eligibility requirements. Bonus bets are non-withdrawable. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel. See BetMGM.com for terms. U.S. promotional offers not available in New York, Nevada, Ontario, or Puerto Rico.
All right, you know what? Let's get to our favorite segment, Gas or Break.
Oscar should leave McLaren before the end of his contract.
When is the end of his contract? I don't know, top of my head.
I think 2028. I don't think they gave a specific date, but it was multi-year, so at least through 7 or 27, 27 or 28.
Break.
Okay.
Why? You're asking why? Because first of all, he's going to win the World Championship this year, so that's why he should stay there. And next year, wherever you go, first of all, there is no seats next year, and wherever you go, you wouldn't know where you're going. And I think McLaren at the moment is doing a pretty good job. And obviously, he can beat Lando. If he can beat him this year, I think his hope should be to beat him in the future as well. Why should he leave? Because otherwise, I don't think they put him at a disadvantage. They just don't put him at an advantage, you know. So he has to fight for everything. But if he wins a world championship, I think he will be, for sure, the world champion. And in the team, that is what counts, you know. And, but I don't think he's leaving. No, shouldn't be leaving. Should stay there.
I'm going gas. Okay? I think he wins this championship. And he's done it before. He's left in a heap of fucking burning rubble. And he's you don't want to fuck with the Piastri Weber team. You do not want to do that. And I think you saw what happened. Remember Niki Lauda, your boy Niki Lauda? He got out of the car in Japan. Ferrari called him basically a pussy for giving up. What did he do? He won the championship. It was the following year. And then he said, fuck you. I'm leaving. Like,
I'm done.
I'm done. Goodbye. Like, mic drop. That's what I think he should do. He should win, be like, I beat you, and I'm out.
So where is he going?
Some place where he's appreciated. And they're going to pay him lots of money.
Red Bull? Ferrari, Mercedes, who knows who knows where this thing will shape up.
He'll be a winner at this point. He'll be a champion.
World champion, yeah.
And he'll have a last name Piastri. Maybe Ferrari will learn from their mistakes when they didn't take Ricciardo and get a fucking Italian, someone with an Italian last name.
An Australian Italian.
Australian Italian.
I am going gas, but it's a gas with a contingency. That at some point, this can't keep going like this. You know what I mean? You know, sometimes in a relationship, before you get married, you kind of want to work out some stuff beforehand because you want to say, is this forever? Is this a chapter of our lives, or is this the whole fucking book? And I think that Oscar Piastri, for his long-term mental health, needs to know that this is not going to be the entire relationship, that there is a light at the end of this tunnel. And if there is no light at the end of that tunnel, and ultimately, despite all of Oscar's success on track, Lando's still golden boy, marketing, he's got the $1 million smile, the kids love him, the whole thing. If Oscar Piastri, even as a World Drivers' Championship, champion at the end of this year, if that's what happens, is still treated like that, I think for his own sanity, he'll have to get out. Next prompt.
Christian Horner will be the CEO of Haas next year.
Break. I mean, we all know now from the reporting how much money Christian made. I do not think that Haas will pay him that amount of money. That's the first thing. So that's my take on it. So.
Right.
I wish I was paid the amount Christian was paid, but I wasn't, So
what did you make of those rumors, Guenther? I mean, we saw those flying around and people were aghast. Christian Horner, CEO and team principal of Haas, people said, "What the hell is going on?"
I think that came out of, but it was answered by
Right.
Ayao, I think, that they had dogs, actually, he said, so they must have had dogs, I guess, otherwise he wouldn't say it. And then it's just like, but also where Christian is coming from, it's a different, Red Bull is the team with the biggest infrastructure, I would say, in Formula One. They make their own engines. I mean, you could say Audi is the same, but Audi is still young compared with Red Bull. So it's a complete different thing. And obviously, Christian doesn't go there to participate in F1. And I don't know where they came. And I guess they came out because he talked with somebody at Haas, as it was reported afterwards. And that's for the rumors came out that he's going there. But this is how quick rumors get legs in Formula One. You speak with somebody, it's a fact. No, we just spoke about it.
Guenther, you said break, but let's just have a little fun for a second and say it was true. He is going to be the CEO of Haas next year. let's just have a little fun.
A thought experiment.
What would your advice to Christian
I know this
be?
was coming. I'm not going to give any advice. I cannot, I keep out of this, because, I keep out of it,
This is just advice from one former team principal to another former team principal.
No advice for Christian. No, sorry,
What
Christian,
you would
I don't
say
give
is,
advice.
there's a,
Good luck.
Say is,
That's
good luck, babe.
Good luck. Good luck,
babe.
buddy. Yeah. I would wish him good luck,
Well, okay, what would your
luck,
advice be
babe.
to Christian about how to enjoy the post-TP life?
Right, yeah.
Well, because you're more accustomed to it.
Yeah, I mean,
he's new,
exactly.
He's new to being
he's
thrown
new
out on his ass.
unemployed. Yeah, he's a new unemployed. Yeah,
Yes.
I think he gets busy pretty quick as well. So, but I don't know. I haven't spoken with him since he left Red Bull, so I don't know what's in his mind. What he wants to do. Maybe he just wants to go back into it. Could easily be. But. Maybe he's happy to do something else. I mean, Christian could easily go on TV on Sky. I mean, it's like perfect. Yeah. He's British, and he knows the sport very well. So, but I think Christian is trying to get somewhere in a team again. He lived it for so long. That's his passion. So, but as I said, I think he needs to give himself a little bit of time to calm down, not to take the first opportunity, but to see around what else is around.
Yeah.
Ferrari should change its brake supplier.
If we break, maybe we break them the brakes, so I don't know.
They break the brakes. Yeah, those brakes are delicate, baby.
Delicate,
Those
I
brakes.
Break. No, I don't know what happened. Normally, and I don't want to jump to this to be a fact. It could be that they just didn't cool them enough for Singapore, because you can adjust the cooling, the amount of cooling you give a brake. And we had races before at Haas at the time where we ran out of brakes, actually. We crashed out because the brakes were gone. And so it has nothing to do with the brake supplier. So I don't know.
But you used the same brake supplier.
Yeah, at the time, and then we changed because we at the time were not happy with the consistency of the brake, Then we changed another one, but then went back because the brake supplier to the same they are using now, and they worked. So I don't actually know the exact problem they've got in the moment, And but I think in Singapore it was more a cooling problem than the brake itself, that it doesn't work properly, or the feeling. I think it was a cooling problem. They undercooled, and then when you don't cool enough, you wear them out, and that's what happened at the end, and you cannot brake anymore because you have no brakes left, because it gets too hot, and then once you get over a certain threshold, they wear down very quick,
It's always something with them, though.
It was always something. It was very quiet for a while, and then since Lewis came again, they are having these problems as far as I can recollect. But
you mean the brake problems or just Ferrari problems?
No, brake problems, because the last years, I don't think they had problems. It's just since Lewis came, but maybe he's not used to that brake, and he's used to something else and cannot adapt himself to it. So, if you don't know exactly the brakes for a driver is the part of the car where he gets his confidence in. It's pretty logical. If you don't know how good your brakes are, you're not going to the limit because you don't know what to expect. And that could knock on your confidence quite a lot. And maybe Lewis was used different. He was used different brakes because Mercedes used a different brake supplier than Ferrari. and maybe he's used just that they feel different, and he cannot get used to it because I say a leopard doesn't change his spots even if he gets older. So
I have no opinion on the brake
brakes
supplier issue. So
you
well,
got
they
too
got
much
to do.
expertise.
Here's what I'll say, because I think something's got to change, because it wasn't just Lewis in this race. Yeah, Lewis's brakes were the ones that crapped out. But if you listen, someone put a compilation of Leclerc's radio for the whole race.
But
the
that's
entire time they're saying, lift and coast. You're cool. Like, we're overheating rear left. We're overheating front right. I mean, it's the whole race. Leclerc's whole race was compromised because he was trying to cool down his brakes.
But that's what I'm saying. I don't think in Singapore it was a brake supplier problem. It was a problem,
the brake
problem of the
cooling.
cooling. Yeah, which has nothing to do with the supplier.
I see.
But
Okay.
but I guess my question my question is, Guenther, is in terms of Ferrari. There's always something with them is like they create whatever car they create. They put a car together for the year, and I mean there was always something. Like, if the car's fast or slow, that's almost irrelevant once you show up to the track. But I
It's
mean, there's
relevant.
always
This
something,
battery is fast, yeah. But anyway, yeah.
right? But like by the time you get to the track, you can't do much about your car being the performance of your car. That was determined that off season. But I guess they're always making mistakes in the margins that just make sure that they have the worst possible result. Whether Lewis getting disqualified, they're fucking up the cooling, their strategy, shit like what is going on with that? Like, because they're ensuring that they're just getting the worst results that their car could and their drivers could possibly get.
If there is
Right?
not something, there is something else. What you mean? Yeah. So, I mean, that happens a lot. Yeah. I mean,
So what do you attribute that to? There's always
I don't know.
There's always
If I
dropping
would
the ball
know, I
in
would
some
tell
way.
it to Fred. If I would know, I would tell it to Fred, but I don't know, So I would happily tell it to Fred because he's a friend. But I mean, you're right. There is always something, It's like, but that is why they haven't won a world championship for a while as well, because there is always a reason why it is, As you say, the car, normally it's pretty good, It's not bad, but there is always something which goes wrong.
Right. Yeah, because Mercedes, they only got one driver, that's really maximizing.
One and a half. Don't
one-
upset Toto, because
Mercedes
the
has
next
one and a
half
half
is coming. Yeah, next year
Mercedes
they
has
got two.
1.5 drivers.
Yeah,
Red Bull has I hate to say this, Red Bull basically
I
has
know
one.
that you hate it.
But Ferrari's got two good drivers, and they're still they should be in second place solidly. They should.
Yeah, they should be. Yeah.
And they can't seem to manage it.
So
No,
I've got a
they
question
cannot.
for you. Why you hate to say that Red Bull has got only one driver?
Guenther, don't twist the knife.
Guenther.
What are you doing?
No. Next,
Don't make us walk off this podcast. Don't make us walk off. Isaac Hatchar's looking.
Next question.
Next prompt.
Next problem. Yeah.
Max can still win the championship.
Well, this is keeping on coming back, this gas and brake here, and I'm starting, brake. I think at some stage McLaren will change this papaya rule into let's go and win the Drivers' World Championship. We need to support one driver, which will be Oscar Piastri, because he's ahead in the championship.
I'm going. I'm going gas. I'm going full gas. They are just. This is a shit show. They are so busy bickering amongst themselves, going through judicial law and precedent, and complaining, and focusing on all the wrong things. And Max is just chugging away, and I think this is gonna end in tears. They're gonna take each other out. Max is gonna win one or two more races. He's fucking still in this shit, and and just karmically, they don't deserve to win the World Drivers' Championship at this point. The way this shit is going on, they're not really just karmically. It doesn't seem right. Max has just got his head down. He's focused. They're locked in. The Red Bull, McLaren is busy, like too busy on the philosophy of trying to be fair. They're too busy trying to build this papaya utopia, where Max is like living in this dystopia, killing people, just trying to win.
Papatopia. The papayatopia. The papatopia.
Yeah.
I am going gas as well. Red Bull, Max shouldn't have been anywhere in Singapore. Singapore should have been a McLaren track. They should have sailed off into the distance. But Max, Max has never even won in Singapore. Singapore is his worst track that he's ever raced at. And this year, where he's had this car that's been all over the map, where he's only good on the straights, on low downforce, high speed tracks, he puts it in P2 in Singapore. I think Max has a chance of winning the next 4 or 5 races. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding.
And I think we're getting a DNF from these guys.
Yeah,
And I think that the papaya. I think in your mind they're going to do it, but I think that they are going to be very hesitant to put their weight behind Oscar. And if they do that and they keep getting into scraps, I think Max still has an outside chance of nabbing this WDC.
You know what should happen? Oscar should listen to our podcast and take this to Zach, because you gave the 2 scenarios. What will happen if they do not favor one driver? But I think they will favor a driver, At the end, they need to give somebody, So, if Zach listens to this, he says, Brian and Matt said the right thing. If I don't do anything, the championship will go away. Guenther gave me how to do it.
Might be too late by the time they do it.
No. It's not too late. Because they can use, they've got 2 drivers to steal some points from Max, So if you work together, you can achieve it. Anyway,
all right.
I hope they listen to us.
Next prompt.
Lando's no black and orange flag for his front end plate is British bias.
Look at that, Guenther.
Yeah. But
look at that.
I need to give you the full story behind all this bullshit here.
I mean, come on.
Yeah. At the time, there was a race director, and he wasn't British. The guy was just not up to be an F1 race director. And he did, I think, 5-6 races, and then they sent him back where he came from to WEC, because the guy was obsessed by parts on the car. We explained to this guy, obviously, if it is like this, we can explain you how the wing is made, the part will not fall off. He didn't care. Or it's dangerous. You need to come in. It's like, the guy was so, and I don't know how many times we lost points because of this dude. And then how it was sorted, all of a sudden, Fernando Alonso loses a rear view mirror, and that was okay. And then Bin Sulayem got involved and changed the rule. It's actually okay to have pieces hanging loose. And we actually got points taken away. So I think what they do now is the right thing. The team is responsible for what they are doing. All the teams know how the wing is constructed. This part will not fall off. There is a material in, I think it is Xylon they got in there, which doesn't break if you don't cut it off with a knife, We had the same. But the rules changed, and I think in the moment they do it right, but at the time when we had it, and it was always us, and I got so pissed with the people, And then the best thing was, how you say it, to put salt in a wound. When Fernando was all right to lose the rear mirror, which is a lot more dangerous than this, The rear mirror was hanging off, was flapping, because first he cannot see to the back, and if the mirror flies off and kills somebody or hits somebody, what happens then? That was okay, because the president got involved at the time, And obviously I voiced my opinion to the president at the time.
Very
and
diplomatic
leave it at
way
that.
of saying, you
leave
told
it
him
at
to
that.
fuck off.
And leave it at that. And this race director, which had these ideas, was never seen again in Formula One.
Wow.
Rightly so, because the guy, you could just not talk to him. You couldn't, you can speak with everybody, in a normal way, try to explain things. He said, I don't care. I'm the race director. I do what I find is right. All right. So I mean, and
So
obviously,
Guenther, you took the beach of this
No,
black
no.
and orange flag bullshit, so that you walked so Lando Norris could run.
exactly. Yeah, he should thank me. Yeah.
That's right. Lando Norris should.
So
should
he
be
kind of owes us a podcast appearance because he should have been
Absolutely.
fucking out of this race.
Yeah, he should be. He should be have been disqualified if that race director would have been still there.
Wait a minute. Hold
Not
on 1
disqualified.
second.
No. Change the front wing. Sorry, not
Well,
disqualified.
that would have ruined his race. Well, that would have at least put Oscar in front of him. That's would have put a
absolutely,
nose
yeah.
Would have ruined
change
his
would
race.
have added.
He would have, totally
It
ruined
would
his
have ruined
race.
his race. A nose replacement would have ruined his race. So, are we saying that maybe Lando owes his championship future to you, Guenther?
I mean, if he stay another 5 minutes here, for sure he does. We can talk ourselves into that one.
That's right.
He's indebted to you
forever.
Us.
Yeah,
Us.
yeah.
Yes.
Us, because you came up with the idea, obviously. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a team.
Yeah.
It's teamwork here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. So Lando, we'll see you on the pod.
Yeah, and you better come. Otherwise, I get the race director back.
Yeah.
Next prompt.
There will be another McLaren on McLaren crash before the end of the season.
You guys start. I need to think about this one.
I mean, there's nothing really.
What's there to think about?
I mean, this is gas.
I would say it's gas as well. And then they will take the decision to put team rules in.
Guenther,
Yes,
you're on this.
gas.
Okay.
It's a certainty. I might even bet my life on it.
No, it's not a certainty. If they put rules in that one has to win. That's why I'm not so convinced like you.
But they've shown no indication that they're going to do that.
All right.
Yeah, I'm going full gas. I mean, the gloves are off, baby. Lando Norris even set the tone with this thing, with that move up turn one. And now Oscar Piastri is so fed up with this organization. I think that his time of listening to team orders, I think that there's this. I don't know what the straw that will break the Piastri back is, but I think he's damn near close to it. And I think if there's an opportunity for him to get ahead of Lando, and they will, I think, continue to be very close to each other as they are very, on a very similar level with this car. They'll be sniffing each other, and I think it's only a matter of time before they touch. Once again, maybe they take each other out of the race, at which case, if Max wins said race or whatever it is, I could potentially see them doing that.
Yes.
But, they're going to be rubbing is racing, baby. They're going to be rubbing again.
I think that I also think it's interesting because I think that Lando is now becoming a tourist in the psychopath world. But Oscar lives there. He's been a tourist in the nice guy world this whole time. So Lando is a sheep in wolf's clothing. He's just decided to become a sheep in wolf's clothing. Oscar's been a wolf in sheep's clothing this whole year, trying to be a nice guy. And now I think they let the dog out in him. Yeah, now I think he's done. I think we're going to see the full killer come out to play. And I think when he has an opportunity, he's gonna finally try to stick the knife in and make sure that Lando's not gonna be a problem anymore if he can.
I like it. All right. Well, that does it for gas or break. Guenther, before we get into Austin and predictions, once again, get your tickets. Link is in the description. I think we need to give maybe an honorary Rockstar to Fernando Alonso. We can't leave this Singapore GP recap without talking about the Dark Lord himself, Fernando. What did you make of Fernando's performance in Singapore?
I mean, the real Fernando came out, huh? I mean, even if he's old and it's the toughest race of the year, but he did it, He gave us entertainment, and he entertained himself as well, I would say. He was pretty happy doing it. This is what he likes. Fighting for something. That was the real Fernando. Give him a machine, he can fight for something. He will be ready. I mean, a lot of respect for this age he is as well.
there's all these rumors that he's getting ready to retire, that he's committed to the Aston Martin project, and that even if they do have something to fight for, that he would gladly maybe step aside to let someone else take the glory, to pass the baton. I mean, you saw him at the end of that race. He's still as passionate and as motivated as ever to get good results on Sundays. What do you think should I mean, Fernando Alonso not retiring from F1? I don't like it.
Yeah, but I mean, next year he's 45. It's a long time ago that somebody was. Yeah, he's 40. He's 44 in the moment. Yeah, he is.
Fangio. I don't think he started driving. I think he was a rookie when he was 42.
Yeah, I think he retired and then he started to drive. Huh?
Yeah.
Wow, he's 40. Yeah, you're right. He'll be 45 next year. That's crazy.
That's crazy, yeah. So he, I think he's doing next year, see how he gets on. I think he takes it year by year. I mean, you guys are still young. When you get older, it's year by year. You say, how do I feel about things, And also, not McLaren, sorry. Aston Martin needs to see who they can replace him with, somebody of the same talent. They're not standing around. All right. Same talent, I said.
And I said,
same talent. Same.
And how
similar
much longer,
talent.
And how much longer do you think Lance Stroll's sticking around? Well, what's your Lance Stroll interest meter? Where's that at?
I think if the car is good, Lance will stick around. I think so.
Mm-hmm.
Did you hear Lance's radio during the race?
Yeah, what did he have to say? It was
they said Bortoletto is on 40-lap old tires, and he said, my tires feel like they're 100 laps old.
Yeah.
And Crofty and Brundle just started laughing in his face. They couldn't help it.
Yeah,
he's that was
yeah, that was a little bit. Yeah, that was a little bit. Yeah.
Do you enjoy listening to? I mean, it's now as like a pure, viewer. Do you laugh at these radio calls as much as we do?
Yeah. But, because, they're true. And sometimes it's like, yeah, but why did you say that? But that even if you're sitting on pit wall, you hear these calls. It's like, dude, you didn't need to say that. I mean, we know what's going on. It's like when they say, don't speak with me, Yeah, it's the same on the other side. You could say, don't speak with me because I know what's going on, buddy,
Right.
You can see everything what's going on.
You can see it all. All right, one last thing before we go to our awesome predictions. What did you think of that McLaren pit stop pump fake, which then led straight into the McLaren bad pit stop for Piastri?
Yeah. When they start to play it, I actually thought this is trying to get the other one to go for it,
right.
To fall for it. But I think with all the data available now and the people around, you really can see if somebody tries to fake it, It's difficult to fool somebody. Like, that worked maybe 20, 30 years ago that you fooled somebody. But I don't think that they were thinking even to go for it, the other one. So, then the other ones, I don't think it has to do directly with that one, the slow pit stop, That's just happened.
It's been 3 slow pit stops in like the last, 5 races. They've had, and you know why? Pit stops?
Because the guys now, it's losing confidence. It's all about confidence. The pit stop is not about doing the work. It's up here, and mental. It's all mental, because if you do a bad one, the best thing is to forget about the bad one, and if you focus too much on it, how can we make it not happen again and all that stuff? You overthink it again, and sometimes you just have to let go. Shit happens and move on, because we could do it before. We can do it again,
I have another question, Guenther. It seems like maybe it's all random and it's a coin flip every time. But my question is the second pit stop harder than the first one? Is there some kind of factor that plays in that, like, if you get you do the first one, you're in rhythm. The second one, you're maybe just a little out of sorts from doing the first one? No. For me, the pit stop is as I say, you need the right equipment, the right equipment. Oh, I mean, the equipment will be a tenth or 2 maximum, but the rest is more like, and all the guys, they train it so much, they can do it, and then have a consistent team.
always the same people doing it, the same job. And the rest is just like the confidence. And then the rest, that he stops in the wrong place, that can throw you out. That he's going a little bit long or a little bit short, that throws you out because you have to move and you lose a little bit of time. But otherwise, the rest is just like, repeating. First, second, third, fourth pit stop, they should be all the same. And these guys are good. But we are talking here really seconds. We are not talking minute that something goes wrong. Just a little move wrong, and that's normally not the focus, not the concentration, thinking about something else, and you get it wrong.
Okay. Austin is coming up. We will be doing our live show after the race.
Which is the most important thing on the weekend.
Which is the most important thing of the weekend. But these predictions are going to be important because we will be bringing up these predictions on stage at the Paramount Theater, 9 p.m. in Austin. Guenther, what is your prediction for the Coda podium?
And who gets it most wrong of us three? The people should throw tomatoes on us. On that person, not away. So
that's
I hope it's not me.
Person.
Yeah,
Okay.
Just the wrong person. No. Prediction, Austin. It's getting more difficult now, you know that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Ooh. Oscar, Max, Leclerc. I go completely out of Oscar, Max, Leclerc. Yeah.
I think I've been radicalized. We got to take a big swing.
Yeah.
Brian.
Mm-hmm.
We got to for the crowd. I think am I stealing your take, Brian, when I say from yesterday? If I say Max, George, Leclerc,
You are, but that's okay. Max, George, Leclerc, that's what you think?
I'm just thinking they're not going to be in it. They're gone. They're out.
You think that the McLaren boys are going to be out? I think it's going to be Max, Leclerc, Oscar. I think that Oscar and Lando may be getting a little tussle. Lando maybe falls down the order, maybe seals his fate as WDC. But you can let us know. We'll know if we're right or wrong on stage at the Paramount Theater, 9 p.m., October 19th. Be there or be a fucking Vankah. Goodbye, Vankahs.
Goodbye, wankers.